You well, hope everyone's had a great weekend and well, had a great start to the week. It's now Monday evening and yeah, hope your Monday's been good. Well, I'll give you a little bit of hopefully Monday motivation for the month, because we hit a brand new month now of November, and this is when our winter training really starts, or the start of things to come. So what I wanted to do was follow on from the last video I did. If you haven't watched it, you can go and watch it. I can post a link below. But what we talked about in that one was what I consider the three pillars, which is, the first one is your ride consistency. You've got to get your ride consistency going. Then we can build up the volume, and then we can add in and build intensity. So that's kind of a key formula to getting fitter and riding further and getting faster and all that good stuff. So the first one is consistency. So I want to do another little video now about consistency, and because it's the start of the month, it's an ideal time to look at that, an ideal time to set that wheels in motion, because it's Monday today and it's the first week of the month, the first full week of the month. Even though it's the third today, it's the first full week of the month, and it's a 4-week month. So let's have a look at what we can do now over the next 4 weeks to build up that consistency. And I'm particularly talking to anyone, but particularly talking to the people who haven't really got that habit of riding more than a couple of times a week, because we do get them people at the sessions, and they're fantastic, it's brilliant, they come every week and try hard, but don't often see, or sometimes don't see, the gains that they think they should be getting. And then when I question them, they say, oh yeah, I only ride a couple of times a week. And it's fine, you ride, as long as you're riding your bike, that's all that matters. Whether it's once or twice a week, whether it's for 10 minutes or 10 hours, it doesn't matter. However, if you do want to improve and you keep coming to the sessions, because that's what the sessions are built on, is that, yeah, you've got to get that consistency. And it's not as hard as what you think. There's only so much time in the day, we've all got busy lives, but just remember, you commit a lot to cycling. You commit to the expense of the bike and the clothing and getting up early in the morning to come to sessions. So you want to get the best out of that, don't you? You want to get your money's worth. You really want to get that. And like I said, there's only so many hours in a day. But the way I look at it as well is, you can spend an hour, 2 hours dicking on your phone looking at TikTok, can't you? You know what I mean? Or watching Coronation Street, or whatever it is that floats your boat. So we've got to try and find that hour a day that we can dedicate to our riding and doing the thing that we enjoy the best. Okay, so what we're going to look at doing today then is starting off with someone who rides 2-3 times a week, that we're going to get that, and we're going to build up from there. So and build a little plan. So what my suggestion is in week 1, we aim for them 3 rides. So we're just aiming for 3 rides a week. We'll go a little breakdown of how that might look a little bit later. Week 2, we go to 4. Week 3, put rides there. Week 3 is 4 again, 4 rides. And then week 4, let's go for it. Let's do 5 rides that week. Yep. So that's what we're going to be looking at doing. I wrote them a bit big because I wanted to write on the bottom, but I might have to waste a page here and do something else. So that's what we're looking at doing, is just 3 rides, and we'll go over what they can look like and how that can work, and build up from there. Now, let's go again. So week 1. Now this is my suggestion, that kind of most of our riding follows into this pattern. Like we train the women's training on a Thursday, and there's quite often Tuesday and Thursday chain gangs or faster laps in the park and other ones in between. And then the weekend is what you tend to we tend to say for our longer rides, because that's when generally we're off work for the majority of people. So that's how it works. So that's the kind of plan that we're going in, and a lot of my coaching plans follow a similar format, unless they're a shift worker or so on. So that we'd have like our long rides at the weekends. Monday would be an easy rest day. we train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, rest day on Friday, or easy day, and then we hit the weekend. So what I'm suggesting, week 1, we get that riding on a Tuesday, and then we get a riding on the Thursday, and then we get a riding on the Saturday. Week 2, we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Week 4, week 3. I haven't written a minute, have I? 1, 2. You have to excuse my writing, I know it's horrendous. We go Tuesday, same, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then week 4, we're going to go mad. We're going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're quite easily building up to those, to build up the consistency of riding and the number of rides that we do in a week. Now, how that could look, like, what we're not saying is like we go out and spend all your life on your bike. Well, you can if you want to, a lot of people do. But what we also want to be doing is like, well, how far we're going to ride, or so on. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, and for those who haven't watched it yet, it's okay to go and think about how many kilometres I'm doing, or how many kilometres this ride, and things like that. However, the best way is we're building up our fitness, and it's the way I'm doing myself, because I got myself unfit and I built it up, is you're better thinking in time rather than distance. And the reason being is that, like, a nice easy one to think about is an hour's riding. Like I say, most of us can fit an hour into our day somewhere along the lines. Now that hour, for some people, might be 20 kilometres. Oh, not 20. Well, yeah, 20 kilometres, 25 kilometres, 30 kilometres, whatever. Or could be as many 30 kilometres. But for some people, it's 15 kilometres. But it doesn't matter, because it's that hour of effort. And that hour of effort is important, because you do an hour that day, and as your fitness picks up, then the distance just gradually increases during that hour as you get fitter and more comfortable and confident at riding your bike. So we want to be looking at that. Now, so that's what I'd suggest. So for the Tuesdays and Thursday rides, and even Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday rides, looking for around an hour. If you can do an hour, great. If you can do 40 minutes, 45 minutes, that's fine as well. But just get a ride in. It can be split into 2, because it might be a half an hour commute to work, and half an hour commute back. Or if you can do like an hour's commute to work and half an hour commute back, even better. But if you can just like do the riding the commute, or you can do anything, I'd say between half an hour and an hour, but really closer to an hour is a bit better, that you can build those up on your midweek rides. Then at the weekend, just for now, I want you to do anything between an hour and a half and 2 hours. So just make it that little bit longer. So hour and a half's good, 2 hours better. And then we do that. And that stays the same here. And so we get, and same at this weekend. So this weekend we're just going to do 2 hours that day, 2 hours that day. Because if you stick to that plan, you'll really be surprised yourself. You know, if you're not used to doing it, you might look at saying 5 days a week. Well, there's literally no chance I can do that. But just, well, prove me wrong, like you always say. Just prove me wrong, because you will be able to do it. Because even though we've built up that number of rides each month, the volume has been kept relatively low. You might not think so, but it's been kept relatively low, so you can do it. And then when we go into December and then into January, we can start to build on that as well, within reason, yeah? So we're all different, we've got all different things, so that's why we're not going to give specific, absolute this hour, absolute this distance, absolute this fit. I just want you riding your bikes, yeah? And if you come to the Thursday sessions, then we're going to go over some of the skills that's involved in that riding, so things like pedal stroke and cadence and positioning on bikes, and just a general efficiency that you can then take to those rides. They can be solo or with your mates or with a group, it doesn't matter. You know, with a group, of course, the miles go that bit quicker. But just make sure that you start doing those rides. So we've got I've just set up anyway a little Strava group. Couldn't get my words out then. A Strava group. So I'll post that as well, so you can get an idea of that. So put it on, and we'll all make ourselves accountable. Because I'm joining in this as well, because I used to live on my bike, and over the last few years I've let it go, and I've found getting back into it and the consistency difficult. And anybody who knows me from years ago would find that hard to believe, but it's really been tough. So I know where you are if you do struggle, and we are going to do it together, and we're going to get this going. So we'll get a Strava group, make ourselves accountable, have a bit of banter, get it going. But let's see if we can stick to these, get it built up, and yeah, get that consistency, and then we'll move on to the next stage. The next video I'm going to do is going to be on preparing yourself and your bike for winter. So I'm saying doing all these rides, but of course it's getting into winter now. It's getting a bit wetter and damper and colder. But there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothes. Yeah. So I'll give you some guidelines on what kind of clothing you should be wearing at what temperatures, and also your bike as well. So we need to make our bike winterproof as well, which will mean mud guards, potentially some heavier tires. Potentially, you might not. But we'll go over all that as well. With winter in mind as well, all these rides can be done indoors or outdoors, on road or off road. It doesn't matter. So if it's indoors, that's absolutely fine. That's tough enough. I'm indoors, so you can do that. And then, like I say, off road's good. So if you've got an off road bike, a gravel bike, mountain bike, weather's never going to affect you, because it's good fun being in the woods when it's a bit slippy and damp. But anyway, that's another story. But the point being is, yeah, it's just about riding your bike however that works, however that looks, yeah, and keeping that consistency going. I'm rattling on. Hopefully that's okay, and give you some guidelines to get started. These are just the very basics, because I'm not going to go into like I say, the science or anything like that at this stage, because all we want to be concerned with is riding our bikes, getting that fitness levels going, and then we can build up from there. So any questions whatsoever, give me or the other coaches a shout. Here to help. There's no such thing as a daft question. And I'll see you on the Strava group, see you on the road, and see you at the park on Thursday.